Hi guys, it's me again, Andres, the Norwegian Viking, here with a more in-depth update on the situation on the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit SPG, now Middle-earth SPG, of course. So the response for the video I posted very late last night has been overwhelming. Thank you guys, and to those giving me credit for the information, I'm just compiling information I find on the internet from obviously people who were there. So I was not there myself. I have neither contacted people who were there to get more information than was readily available. I'm just compiling it and posting videos and giving my thoughts about it. So a bit of controversy over this as well, because I have received two messages from two different people saying that this information was deemed confidential and was not supposed to be spread outside of the four walls of the Bugman's Bar. And first of all, I find that a bit strange personally, because you have 100 people, and there will be leaks. Of course there will. And I have had conflicting reports as well, because someone mentioned quite early on that it was only a ban on pictures and videos, and I think that, I'm not completely sure, but I think people from Games was involved with that conversation as well, and it would be strange that they suddenly just decided, no, this is confidential just for the 100 people in the room, not for the thousands of others wanting this information as well. So, but I have to say again, I have not contacted anyone specifically to get this information. This information is readily available on the internet. I can cite numerous sources. I can cite the Great British Hobbit League Facebook page. I can cite the Dukka Dukka forums, the One Ring forums, the DCHL Facebook page as well. So I'm just compiling it, putting it in the video so you can listen to me rather than typing and reading it yourself. So all my information is secondhand, and to anyone offended that I am putting out this information that might be, we don't know, because we haven't anything official, and there's only two sources saying that this was confidential information that was only supposed to be shared with 100 people. My moral scruples are not that affected by it, because the information is out there and I didn't leak it first. So I'm just helping people to get to this information as soon as possible, to get our great minds working on how we can help the newly formed studio release the correct miniatures. I'll get to that later. So first of all, we have the information about the source books being reprinted, and that information came out a bit earlier from a German question. There was a question about the source book sent to the Games Workshop contact email service, and the answer back was that they are being reprinted, and the new studio has several things to do, but the reprinting of the 5 old source books, Mordor, Moran Angmar, Free Peoples, King's Men and Fallen Realms, are going forwards. So the usual delivery time on a source book, or indeed a book of some sorts, is about 1.5 to 2 months when it comes to Games Europe. And this information was released in early May, March, and first or second week of March, and the timeline fits with that. The information now is either possibly within 3 weeks, or possibly within weeks, or 3 weeks. Reports have been coming in differently about that, and it fits with the timeline for a book to be actually printed at the printers. And my hopes, well, will be, I'll be happy if they just release the books as they are now. My hopes is that the FAQs and erratas will be included in those books as well, so that you get the book and it's what you want without having to print out a 4-page text document and amend that document yourself. So that's my take on the old source books being reprinted. I guess they will release it as a PDF as well, since Games Workshop has a tendency to release all their books now in both physical and digital format. So the next bullet point is the new source books. So I spoke about this in the last video, and there are a couple of conflicting reports. Some say by the end of the calendar year, some say around October. But it is, as I said, I think we will have a summer of anticipation and a fall of awesomeness. So October sounds good. Big Middle-earth releases has previously been slated around November. But October, November, it's very near each other as well. So there wasn't said anything explicit about the content of the new source book, but if you read between the lines of what has been said on the meeting yesterday, there was it's most likely Battle of the Far Armies related, because they are filling in the gaps. And the reason that we got so few and so little miniatures from Games Workshop is that the New Line Cinema and Warner Brothers released little to no information, and so a lot of it was changed. So the design team had literally no clue as to what to make miniatures about, and we have seen that before with the Unexpected Journey and Desolation of Smaug, with Bolg in particular, who was not Bolg. They released a miniature that was Bolg, but he wasn't. So in the big hardback rulebook you have a Bolg profile, but that is not Bolg as we know him from the movies. It is the Watcher of Keeper of the Keys at the Sorcerer's Tower of Dol Guldur. So you have an orc having different profiles in the game. He's now called the Gundabad Orc General on the release. So things like that happened, I think, a lot behind the scenes as well. Not as blatant as releasing a profile that wasn't the correct profile for him, but you know, it's stuff like that that happened, and you can't blame Games Workshop for it, because they work off information they get from the studio that is official, and when they work on that, they think they're doing the right thing, and turns out to be the wrong thing, and that the option then is, did you get the information fast enough to scrap the project, or has it already been released and being wrong? So yeah. So I think Battle of the Far Armies is, in my opinion, the safest bet, as I will get onto later. So the next point I didn't actually speak a lot about in my previous video. It is the Auto Production Minis, released again in Forge Old Resin. And a couple of interesting points there. There were specific mentions of Halbrand and Kirdan. So old, very popular miniatures that are now selling for hundreds of pounds on eBay. Mental. I was lucky enough to get my Halbrand when he first was released. I'm lucky enough to sell him when the game was in a lull. and then I was lucky enough to just pay, I think I paid £35 for my Halbrad, which is a lot less than the £100 to £300 mark they are going for now. But these two miniatures, along with lots of other miniatures, are hallmarks of the game, and it's a shame that they are no longer available. This goes for Feral Urukai, dozens of characters, some troops that are out of production, Serpent Riders, Serpent Guard, Dolamroth Foot Knights. All these miniatures are a shame that they aren't readily available still, and I can't think of a better plan than to bring out the masters, do a forgeable resin run of them, because that is a cheap way to get a mold going, and produce them in resin for those that want them. So I will be very, very happy if they release some golden oldies back, and we'll probably do something to the second-hand market as well, not being reamed on prices, because I try to sell stuff for fair prices when I'm selling stuff, and I don't really like people who well, I'm nothing against people selling them, but then again, they are getting very much for what they paid for it, and also the recast market is somewhat exploitive. Some people are selling recasts as original minis, and then again, most recasts are great. They look exactly the same, but then again, you would like to support your hobby, as we say, rather than buy from the second-hand market, or indeed from recasters. That goes to prove that we want this game to be continued to be supported, and there's nothing better way to showing that by buying new releases and re-releases of old miniatures. Alright, so the next point is due to the cost of forgeable resin, terrain kits will no longer be sold and instead replaced with battle boards, possibly. This is a weird one, because terrain kits are scaled back from forgeable. This I know for a fact, because there haven't been lots of terrain kits released in the last few years, but with forgeable delving into plastics, and I've spoken about this in early videos, forgeable has been using CAD technology, the same technology that is being used to produce plastic sprues, and obviously Betrayal at Calth, Blood Bowl, stuff like that is plastic kits. We have seen sprue photos, or what seems to be plastic sprue models being introduced with Blood Bowl. That is a Specialist Games kit. So I don't think it is unreasonable to predict that plastic will play a part in the Middle-earth structured battle game, but terrain kits are something that forgeable itself has been moving away from. Will that change with the advent of plastic production with forgeable? I do not know, but then again, Lord of the Rings have not had that many terrain kits out there totally. So there has been the Helm's Deep and Minas Tirith kits, which were in hard polished on resin. You have had the runes and the statues from the first released in the Fellowship of the Ring, and Two Towers box sets. And you have had the ruins of Osgiliath, which now is also going for crazy amounts of money on eBay and other trade groups. So there hasn't been a lot terrain to offer the Lord of the Rings players, and the reason for this, I think, is because you are playing in so different environments. You have Rohan, you have Eredor, you have the Shire, you have Bree, you have Lake Town, Isengard, Gondor, Fiefdoms, Harad. You have you have so many different places to visit, and it is not financially feasible for Game Searcher to make specific products for all of these places, and really there aren't many very generic things you can make to really sell a lot of. So I know we will support the hobby, but we are a small group. You have to remember that. Even though Games Europe is re-releasing stuff, making new stuff for the game, it will not instantly bring tens of thousands of players into the fold. I do hope we will expand the player groups, but I don't think they will be like a massive explosion of players like you saw with the original releases of Two Towers and Return of the King back in 2002, 2003, where you had the movie hype. So yeah, but what I do hope they will is release the Weathertop set again, because that is a beautiful kit. Such a beautiful kit, and it went, I do believe it sold for £225 when it was available, and I'm pretty sure they can mark it up to about £300 and they still will sell a lot of it, and they can do limited runs. I remember they used to re-release Weathertop through Forge World every Christmas for a long period of time, and that is a beautiful kit, and I personally will buy it immediately if and when it comes out. Alright, so that's a bit of the terrain thing. Next one up is the model of Dane on foot was shown to the audience, and of course with the controversy that there was a embargo on all information, or was it just the pictures? We haven't seen a single picture or blurry picture or blurry video or video of this model, so people has been adhering to the strict policy of no pictures, unlike Forge World seminars from open days and stuff like that, where we see pictures of models months and months and months in advance of releases. So people has been true to this, and this is one of the reasons I am thinking that some of the information that is getting to me about there being a complete embargo on all information from this meeting is false. And I see no reason as to why this information shouldn't go out to you guys. So that's why I don't have any moral scruples about compiling this information and giving my thoughts on them. So hope you don't take it the wrong way, for those of you who might think so. There were no pictures taken about this, and the reporter saying that he looks fantastic. He looks better than anything we have seen so far, and that is saying a lot because Smaug is beautiful. So I'm looking very forward to this, and this proves to the point that there already has been produced a Dane model and other Iron Hill dwarfs. So we know that there are already miniatures in production, finished models, or if it was a work in progress, it must have been a very, very good work in progress as it was described. So I think we can expect great things from sculptors Keith Robertson and possibly others. We haven't heard anything official about several other sculptors, but there might be more people in the team that we know of today. Alright, so next thing is Adam Chalk's contract. So I don't know anything official about this, but I think he said some few notes about him being guaranteed to work on Middle-earth for 4 years, that he has a 4-year contract with the team. So that's 4 years of content from Games Workshop and Forge World for the game. And I spoke a bit about licensing earlier in my last video, about there either being a 1, 2, 5 or 10-year license deal in place. So 4 years seems to be comparable to a 5-year license. A 5-year license will bring us to 2021, which is the first, the 20-year anniversary of the Lord of the Rings movies, and I think in conjunction to that there will have to be a new movie out by then, and then they can renegotiate the license again. So it fits good with other things I've said earlier. So 4 years of contract with Games Europe and the Forge World team, and 5 years of the license. That's 1 year of being sure to sell models you have produced earlier. So that means they can produce a model on exactly the 4-year mark of Adam Troke's contract, and then they can sell it for a whole year before being forced to remove it if they don't renew the license. So a year to sell remaining stock, basically. So I do think that if we get increased popularity, toting a horn about this being the greatest fantasy miniatures game out there today, especially released by Games Workshop, I have no qualms about saying that we will get more plays to the fold, and basically getting more of this stuff we love, and this license will eventually be prolonged again, and hopefully also will Adam Troke's contract, because he is a great guy and does great work, as we have seen previously on his project with the game. Before his adaptation of the rules to the Hobbit rules was, in my opinion, a great improvement, making monsters better and stuff like that. Alright, so next point is there's been no mention of a new rulebook, but there will not be a Age of Sigmar type deal. The guess is that there will be weapon and monster rule tweaks. This I've spoken about in an early video without this information, and that the game will more or less stay the same. That is great news, as I've said in previous videos as well. There is nothing I want more than the game to stay near to exactly the same. A few tweaks can be implemented with success, but having the game as it is today, that is the best thing to happen. But there are conflicting reports as well that there will come out a new rulebook, and this is what I'm going on as well, because there is no reason to produce a game called Middle-earth Strategy Battle Game without releasing a new rulebook. So expect that to happen sooner than later. I would guess November. It is my personal opinion. So yeah. New game will be called Middle-earth Strategy Battle Game. Well, I have been saying this for a year or more, that there is indeed cool things to come, and I hope they will call it Middle-earth Strategy Battle Game, and they indeed did. All right. So the new game will start to go into the Lord of the Rings appendices and Hobbit appendices. I don't think there's a thing called the Hobbit appendices. I think all the Hobbit information is in the Lord of the Rings appendices, but then again, you can split it up like that as well. There's no foul there. For material after the Battle of the Five Armies stuff are done. but this won't be for years down the road, is also a conflicting report I've had. So what this means is that they have indeed released most, if not all, of the stuff included in movies already. That goes for Lord of the Rings. I don't think there are many Lord of the Rings models that haven't been released, barring like Bree townspeople, very specific stuff, like special Cirith Ungol orcs. You might as well use the normal orcs for that. That's also what you have paint schemes for, you know. So I think there are no models they could make that has a tie-in to the movies, that will be bought in quantities, that can basically sorry, I'm lost for words. I can basically redeem making models of them and spending that amount of money to make them. That is for Lord of the Rings. For The Hobbit, on the other hand, there are several models that you could do. You could do the Goblin mercenaries from Battle of the Five Armies, all the dwarves, more elves. You could do the troll catapults. You could even do a werewolf for all I know. So a lot of the Battle of the Five Armies stuff is still unexplored, but you also have stuff from the Desolation of Smaug and also Unexpected Journey that hasn't been released in model form. So I would expect something to happen with this, like expanding the model ranges of the existing movies, and then, as I said, delving into the appendices more, releasing old ideas from the Legions of Middle-earth book that came out, more for the Corsairs, more for the Easterlings, more for Elves, more for Dunland, stuff like that. So you know, there are hosts of models you can make that are included in the appendices, and spoken about, and you only have to link it to the look and feel of the game, and the models, to make it viable to release in model form. Having a Eastling chariot is no problem. You only get to see the Eastlings on foot during the movies, so why not make an Eastling chariot, is my personal opinion. And Dunland cavalry, they weren't shown at all in the movies, so they are taken straight out of the appendices. And why not make cavalry, since Thryden is on a horse, would flesh out that army perfectly, and you can make a standalone army of Dunland, to go nicely against Rohan. So yeah, so I think we will have a wonderful 4 years to come. Hopefully more than that as well, but I'm feeling I'm not religious at all. I'm not. I don't believe in stuff like that. But to paraphrase, I'm feeling blessed. The amount of work that has been put in by guys like me, the GBHL team, the DCHL team, the Blackfriar Productions, Mid Sussex Wargamers, the OSBGL, New Zealand group, Green Dragon podcast, the guys in Germany, the Hobbit Tabletop Liga, Rotterdam White Scars, Copenhagen Middle-earth Battle Gamers, these Swedish guys, all of these groups all over the world have proven that there is more to do for Games Europe with this game, and of course a reason for them to be able to make money. Because if we didn't support a Hobbit hobby, as GBHL started saying about 2 years ago now, if we didn't do that, this wouldn't have happened. I can be pretty damn sure about that. So you know, there is so many things that we can be thankful for, but the main thing I think both me, you, and Game Workshop should be thankful for is you guys, and to a lesser extent the guys, or to no lesser extent to the great inspirational work done by guys preceding me and my YouTube channel. Already mentioned some of them, but I'm sure I've missed out a lot, and I'm really sorry. I'm going off my head here. I haven't planned this part of the video very much. So you know, there are not many instances in Game Workshop history that fans have decided for the company. And what I think is that we have decided for Game Workshop that this is a good idea to do. And we now have to prove to Game Workshop that this was a nice move. We have to buy the new models, obviously. We have to buy the new source books, obviously. We have to continue playing the game, continue going to tournaments, continue introducing new players and old players back into the fold. We have to continue doing YouTube shows, doing YouTube videos, talking about the game, and just spreading the word, because this is a grassroots movement and has been for several years since Game Workshop has been not releasing that much. It's just been a downward slope for the past few years, and if we didn't do what we did and have been doing, this game would never have gotten the fourth revival, I should say. The fourth revival, first being obviously the original game, second one being the Big Blue Book, third one being a Hobbit, and the fourth one being now. So yeah. So the last thing I wanted to mention is that the design team are looking for inspiration, and obviously they are doing something Game Workshop is not really often haven't really often been doing, and that is going to the fans and just basically telling people to send them pictures of their models, sending custom scenarios, telling them which out of production miniatures to decide on producing, again, telling them what models they want to have produced of the new things, and if we just do this and just giving them huge amounts of stuff to do, I think we will, like, personally have a impact on the way things will be going forwards. And this goes to show with my previous thoughts about the new leadership in Game Workshop as well, because you have seen a shift to like basically go just back and talk about this again. You have seen a shift with Game Workshop in the last year since the new CEO took over. So Game Workshop has been putting out lots of effort into going to conventions and showing the game, and they haven't done this at all before. They have been putting out adverts in other publications not done by them for Age of Sigmar, and to a lesser extent 40k, I think, as well. They have been listening to the fans. The Facebook pages are back. They are taking questions for Lord of the Rings and Age of Sigmar on FAQs. They did on the very loud roar of disapproval to Age of Sigmar coming out, re-release the 8th edition Warhammer Fantasy rules on the Black Library page in digital format. And all of these things are telling me that there is a slow-moving train picking up speed. That is basically Game Workshop doing new stuff they have seldom to never done before, moving into new territory and just listening to people. Because to look at the writing on the wall, Games Workshop player base is dwindling and dwindling and dwindling, and this is the like 40kers and fantasy gamers, not so much the specialist games and Hobbit SPG, because we haven't got a lot of real life options. But then again, other people do. They flock towards Kings of War, they flock towards Frostgrave, they flock to other games entirely, like Privateer Press, War Machine and Hordes, and Infinity. Stuff like this makes Games Workshop a target for very intelligent competitors. Because if you look at history, Games Workshop has not really had any competitors out there. And the reason for this is that they were the only place you could buy miniatures used by several people. You had, of course, historical miniatures, you had smaller companies doing stuff, but you couldn't buy them in specialized stores. You had to buy them in like brick and mortar role-playing game stores. There weren't a store called Warhammer. Well, now it is called Warhammer. Well, some places, but you had to go to Games Workshop. You had a player-based community. You had wonderful staff showing you how to play the game. They invested so much money in their retail chain, and they invested so much money in producing quality miniatures. And in doing so, they have always been a horse head in front of their competitors. But with the costs of producing miniatures, I talked about CAD production, like digital design, because previously if you wanted to make a plastic model, you had to have the machinery for it, a big huge machine, taller than me, cranking out plastic sprues. That probably costs, I don't know what it costs, probably 100,000 to £1 million. I don't know. And then you had to produce the miniature. If you wanted to produce this cave troll in plastic, it will have to be 3 times as big. And to do that, you need to sculpt it yourself 3 times as big, and then you had a machine tracing the lines, putting it onto a big huge block of metal, which is the master mold, and then you had to install that into the machine and they would crank it out. But now you can just make the sprue basically on a computer, and there are several companies now like co-opting, using plastic production facilities to make their sprues, and that makes sprue making very cheap for a lot of companies. And although Games Workshop still has the design of a plastic sprue down to a T, other companies are catching up quite fast as well. So their horsehead lead on other companies in terms of design and how to do it for less money is now dwindling very fast. And that means Games Workshop has to reimagine themselves to stay relevant in this kind of industry. And I think they are doing the best they can at the moment to stay fresh, with the releases of old classic board games like Lost Patrol, Space Hulk, doing Horus Heresy, stuff they know will sell. Really, they know it will sell, and they are now indeed moving into toy stores with like EC kits, including paints and models in the same kit, selling them for less amounts of money that you will normally buy it for in Games or brick and mortar stores, making a cheap entryway into a hobby. And then, like you say, the first fix is free or cheap, and the next one you have to buy for the rest of your life. And it's the same way with plastic models. we would like to say plastic crack, to paraphrase, is addictive, and there's no much more to say than we are all addicts and we love it. We couldn't be without it. I seldom go a single day or week without painting or completing a model, as you might have seen in my hobby vlogs. So yeah. So I think I'm going to wrap this video up. I've been speaking about this for 40 minutes or so now. So please remember again, as a caveat, none of this information is procured directly by me. I'm just giving my thoughts about information already being on the internet. I can see now on my Facebook page there are a massive debate. Well, not a massive debate. It's more it's more thumbs up about doing this. So that gives me the confidence to put out this video, and indeed, I don't feel morally obligated to not release these videos. But again, if GameSearch contacts me and asks me to take down the videos, I might consider it as well, because I want to help GameSearch. And if they think this is the best idea, I will believe them on that. But then again, releasing privileged information to 100 people and not including the rest of us in that is something I would really hate. So then again, I do want you to get the best view of this. I've been going through this all. I haven't gotten much sleep at all. A couple of hours. I've been compiling information from all around the internet and making sure that you get the most information that you can regarding this. And I'll of course update you when I have more information. These videos have been immensely popular, so thank you guys for watching. And as always, please subscribe to our channel if you like the type of content we have. I don't only have wargaming news. I also have hobby vlogs, not just from me, but from 2 other guys as well in my group. We have battle reports. Please watch our amazing, well, in my opinion, amazing start of our campaign, the Hobbit SPG Grand Campaign. The second video on that series came out yesterday, so please check out our channel for that. And do like our videos, share our videos, and as always, and especially now, support your Hobbit hobby, guys.